before we get into the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition, I must get the, not speedrun, the Go Outside achievement. Because it has been several years. It has been more than 5 years since I played it. And thus, I must play it. I must get that achievement. What's up, Tente? We getting an achievement first. And then. What the? Hold up. That ain't right. Why is it so small? Why is it in 4x3? That better? Barely. No, we can run this in 4K. Fuck it. There we go. Now, importantly, do I have Go Outside. So you know what? We quit the game. And then we go to the real game. The Stanley Parabellum Ultra Deluxe. Oh boy, indeed, the Stanley Parabellum. Alright, let's see here. English. Confirm. Have you played the Stanley Parable before? Yes. Albeit, it was about 8 years ago. Yeah, that's barely visible. On my screen, at least. Go Deutsch? I'm not going Deutsch. It is 12:00, soon to be 3. Wait a minute. There we go. But PM. Not AM. It's not 0 dark 30. I'm waiting for the clock to tick over. Come on, clock. Tick over. Clock. Clock. You there, clock? How many more seconds do I need, clock? There it is. Confirm. Cool beans. Settings. Field of view, bump it. Sensitivity, fine. I'm not inverting. Who would do that? That's actually kind of cool, but I don't need that. Audio, perfect. Video, borderless, perfect. Controls, how do you simplify this? Genuine question. Begin. The end is never the end, is never the loading.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Was he, though?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
We're going to follow the
All
instructions
of
in the
his
first run.
coworkers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an aunt. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I can't know it. So what do I do? I am the most expensive boss.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Two, 8, 4, 5.
I have not played Deluxe
before. It
before.
turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
He said I didn't know what the panel number was. I'm just listening to what I'm being Stanley. I am being very Stanley this run.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That is powerful then.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
That's where you come in above. Like you break out of the map. It's like, no, spoilers. I remember that from the original.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
427. Yep, that's Stanley's desk, all right.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's
Changeling
control all
Parable.
this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control?
Never.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I'm trying.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Woo! All right, achievements. Test achievement, please ignore. Welcome back. Quit the game and start again. All right. Let's do that. We're getting achievements, baby. I do this. Wah, 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 wah. Okay. I have to do that every time? Okay. Let's say 15. Because it's gonna be 15. Oh. Set the clock to my favorite time. Okay. Am I getting a clock ending? Okay, I will ignore everything the narrator says, and then I'll quit the game and start it again. Then I'll set it to my favorite time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two
Left,
open
nah,
doors,
fuck
this
the
was
left.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I didn't. Why are you feeling
Stanley was so
upset?
bad at following
What don't you
directions,
remember?
It's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley.
What's up,
Everyone
Sushi?
thinks you are very powerful.
I am very powerful. I'm an all-powerful time-traveling prodigy. Quit the game. And then we're going to go back to desktop. And then, because things are going on with the clock, I'm going to set it to my favorite time. My favorite time is 3:14. Because it's pie. And pie is delicious. Do a flip! I can't do a flip. Better yet, I won't do a flip. Yep, 3:14. Pie o'clock. It is very inaccurate. It's good to collect data. Should be ready the next time I boot up the game. Okay. Cake o'clock? Ooh, I don't know. Cake o'clock is whenever you feel like it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them.
Alright, we've already been through that. Alright, now this time, I won't kill myself.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope, not taking that door.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
I know there's a lot to this.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nope, blue.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nope.
I still don't think we're communicating properly.
Nope.
Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
It's the void.
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yes.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Microtransactions.
Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option.
Ooh.
This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
No, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version.
Do I
Would
have
you
to?
say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations. You saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Worldwide leaderboard. Fucking 2 seconds. Oh, it's not real.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel
It
motivated
wasn't my
to keep
actual
walking
profile,
through doors?
though.
Again, honest answers, please.
No.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
See
You
you
wouldn't
soon.
mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
I don't know. The end.
In this game, the baby crawls
Oh,
left
no.
towards danger.
The
You click
baby.
the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire...
First question. Is there an achievement for saving the baby? There is not.
You fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4
4
hours of
fucking
play
hours?
to
No.
make sure it's effective. Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I'll do that off stream.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't
Baby's
think
dead.
of a single thing that might improve
There
the
is no more
experience for
baby.
you. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Minecraft. Oh,
Aha!
Firepoint.
What do you think this game is about, Stan?
I've never actually
What's
played
your
this game
backstory?
before, though.
What is our
I've only
motivation?
seen bits of it.
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity.
Who
So far, I love
firewatches
everything
the
about this game, Stanley.
Firewatch?
And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture out. and
Yo,
see
he
what
made
else
the
is out there.
S.
Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Oh,
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing.
Oh,
that
wait.
big open, just wandering
There's a
around.
hole in the
No
wall.
right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any. Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out
let
of
me
here.
through.
Let's find another
Into the
game.
wall.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Oh, okay. Now what game are we playing? Rocket League?
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
It is a big ball.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is
Wait,
this
there's
fun?
a hole.
Is it better than my miserable little...
There's a hole. Let's go. Beta, alpha. Oh,
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oh, I fell further down. I'm falling deep into the code. Hey, some lights. Four two seven. That's my office. What?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it, he'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Are we waiting? There it is. All right. So we quit the menu. Quit the desktop. And we look at the achievements. What we got? For the entirety of a don't play the game for 10 years. Click on door 430 5 times. That's what we'll do. We're going to click on the door 5 times. We'll see what happens. Friend. Scrumtush? Occuboinkle. I like Occuboinkle. I hope it's the correct time. No. Yeah. Help? Of course. Obviously, in like 10 years.
This is the story.
4:30.
All of his co-workers were gone. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50
All right.
clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417. Okay. Where is that door? Nice.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Was that in this room? Yes, it was.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
I gotta find 415 first. New content.
Now, back to door number 437.
I don't know where door 69 is. I want to find it, though.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
What? How? Question mark thing?
Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Was there a 416? There's 417. There is no 416. Unless I'm blind, which is possible. There is no 416. Was it? It was.
We've almost got it. Now the copy machine, do that one again. Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 430. Yes! I did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing.
I'm glad we brought him to
You
completion.
earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
Was that it? Was that at the end of the achievement? Alright. Now there is something I remember from the original Stanley that I want to try. If I can figure out how to do it. Yeah. That broke out of the map.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
This is real.
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
This is different.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
Oh, that's just rude.
Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
I enjoyed that song. Oh. Okay, I think it's done now. But now we're gonna do more menus. More sliders. I know, right? It was a vibe. Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all the game settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. And now, the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess just some settings are unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games are meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? I'm on stream! That's maybe the only information I really learned from you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There is one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description. That's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again. You can find me. Talk soon. I'm gonna go to the new content door this time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
It's all simulations. It's meant to maintain the realism.
Hello, and
hello.
Thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was
So,
a video
like
game released in
40%
2013
organic.
on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special
it
yet,
might.
but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
There's no button.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
The jump
right.
circle.
All right, let's see. It's
The jump circle?
What thrilling gameplay. Leave the one. So we can savor it.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more.
Oh.
Very good. Yes.
I like
knew
more.
there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
That's it?
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations.
If you haven't played it before, it's worth it.
Why don't we just reset the game, and we'll
You
try
have
to
played
get
it before,
back
it's
to what
worth
the
it.
Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh, that's new. What the fuck? The concept of a hallway.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Is Stanley the imposter? Coffee nut.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
What?
Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh,
The Last of Us? When it launched, like $20. Stanley demonstration. Oh, hold a minute. There we go. See, one of the glitches I got from coming from the future to the today is my audio drivers aren't exactly compatible, so it cuts out every so often. Unless I like manually reboot them, it's really annoying. The fuck? Oh,
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was
Persona 3?
It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore.
It was baby,
It's
baby,
just a
baby,
husk
baby, baby, baby.
now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Top 10 memories. I remember. For Scott Cawthon? The buttons.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly
13.
stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
We can go.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at
Steam.
these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious remark. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
That's a good review. That's a bad review.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can
Preachy!
tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
Unacceptable
This is actually quite
conditions!
shocking. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it...
Noodle
I
shuff.
always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let
You're
these
not a
people
failure
down.
narrator.
Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I ought. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
That's just
A
rude.
skip button. Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
Oh god.
Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No,
What shade is it if it's so bright?
It's a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me.
Are we
to shut
talking
up.
like
Go ahead and
safety
make me shut up.
orange,
Here,
neon,
we'll pretend that I've just
motherfucking
begun
pink, something
an
strange like
interminable
that?
monologue, and it goes something like this: the story and the choices. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in
Peach,
time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary
nice.
verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or
It's that
maybe a
bright? All right.
manifesto. Look, I'll outline...
If you don't want to wear it, you don't have to.
Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that
Oh,
after
this
seeing
is
this
for testing,
exciting
then
new
yeah, you gotta do
technology
it.
at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this.
Gotta get the
situation.
tester done so you know if you like the
I
brains.
think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user
Oh,
the
I haven't
ability
really
to change
ever
their
used
review,
lipstick or
so that
any
the feature
makeup,
is
so I'm not
widely
familiar with all that
used.
stuff.
Look,
Not personally, at least.
okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not
Where's the door?
endurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I don't
Jesus!
feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else
fucking
would we have
bright
gotten
is
into
that?
the room in the first place?
No,
I don't
say,
think
Lord.
one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window, or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley.
I like the beach.
There's no door.
I like the
There's
ocean in
just
general,
you
really.
and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here and more. Oh, Stanley.
Oh god, the plant's
You're
dead.
back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all.
That lipstick's supposed to be going to like a rave or some
because
shit?
I know
Like,
you
damn.
can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which... Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months.
I just picked
lost it all
13
in
because
the
everyone
blur
treats like
of
an
the
unlucky
deepest
number,
longing
and
to
I like it
undo
that
the
way.
past. And when that feeling had begun
Damn.
to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever...
Oh, the smoke detector batteries are dead.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed. They
Green and
gnashed their
cyan are
teeth
my
and said,
favorite colors.
entertain us. It wasn't enough. They
Oh,
had
like
to leave a
aquamarine,
pathetic little thumbs down
green,
review and make all
black,
of their pitiful demands.
and then
But then, he's
specifically
talking too much, they
neon
said. First, he didn't
motherfucking
entertain
pink.
us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency. It's the lack of accountability.
I would have thought that orangey would be the peach. Halloween color.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Huh. Well, you got a huge palette to pick from then. Pardon me. 21. That is a lot of that. I don't know if is it a lot. Again, guy never went out and got that kind of stuff, so I wouldn't know. Oh, the light. We're just letting the building collapse. Original 24 Dark One. She had dark. Okay. Ooh, it's Last of Us now. Yeah. Texture's a thing for me. Like there's a lot of food I can't eat, but I can't. I figured that's what you meant. Hey, if that lipstick don't move, it don't move. I know that's an important thing. So, I know that much at least. Yeah. Yeah, the mouth part isn't just for show. It works. So I remember like 40% organic, still gotta eat. Oh, what the hell? We're outside. Oh. Everything is gone. Like the ears and everything. hair, fluff. Let me hold a minute. Wait. Where is it? Oop, I'm organic. Partially. Think of it more like a cyborg. That's what. Think of it like a cyborg. Not pure robot. Oh. I guess that was that end? That was that end. And thus we quit to menu and try it again.
This is the story. All of his co-workers were gone.
Let's
What could it
see.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What trophy do we have left? Okay, so it's just find the 8s. I don't know where 8s is. Let's just follow his. Well, if you don't
Oh,
say,
good.
say
You
less.
notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Yeah, I mostly eat like meat and carbs and shit. I don't eat fruit, but that's because the texture. Yeah. Even though they taste good, the texture is like it's slimy. It's weird. I don't eat vegetables though. I don't know. My diet's fucked up.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any
You're like
new
nuts.
content for it should live up to that legacy.
Like pistachios,
so forget
cashews,
this ultra deluxe
almonds.
nonsense.
I don't like
say
almonds.
we take it one step
Peanuts.
even further, which is why I'm
Macadamia.
very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh. The Stanley Parable 2.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely
Oh, did you
new
now?
experience, built from the ground up.
Did it get
Wow,
brighter?
there's so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
I presume it got brighter.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much
bit.
catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Potential. Does
Now,
it
to be
still
clear,
stick though?
I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely
Who took the red
organize
marker?
a handful of
Me.
interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around
You're
it.
right.
It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
The prequel to the Stanley Parable 2 is the sequel to the sequel to the Stanley Parable is the prequel to the Stanley Parable is the sequel to the parable. The end is never the end. Ooh, a red carpet. I feel fancy. New content. What new features are you talking about? Bus!
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Ooh, the button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Will it say spy? Will it say changeling? Will it say
For the
my
Stanley
real
Parable
name?
2, I asked myself,
Will it say my code
what do
name?
players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious
Yeah.
answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the
Name.
game is this button, which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry,
name's not
I should have
Jim.
clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here,
See, I've
let's
got
have you
several
role play
names.
as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want
Hello,
you to
my name
imagine
is
yourself
Jim.
living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Oh.
Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
I guess I gotta be Jim. You have 5. Lord have mercy.
Jim.
It hits
I'm an
even
only child.
harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally
One of
drained
my
from
line
all
too.
this
I haven't seen
personal
any other Arcane
validation.
Productions before.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Actually pulling it under. Why not? Yeah. It's a lot of names.
I suppose I could
I'm
allow
guessing
only
5
people
feminine,
named
1
Jim
neutral.
to play the Stanley Parable 2.
we
That would
might-
actually save me the work of
Two.
finishing this feature.
Epilogue. The reassurance bucket. Free achievement. Say less.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you.
I don't
it's as
know what that
simple as
means.
that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it
A button
will
that
be
says
fixed in the
Pam? I
sequel
don't know.
to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
This? Swear to God, if you're gonna use one of the token things. Tente. You wanna play that game? We can play that game. Oh, hold up. We can play this game, Tente. We can play this game. Where is it?
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Ooh, the jump circle. Not,
You know
I'm
what,
not
Stanley?
wasting the jump
I
circle.
actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
I'm not wasting my jump. I've only got one left. Oh, you wanna play games? You wanna play games?
Bruh.
You can't just come into my life, make me feel special, and then break it!
I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I take a screenshot. No, I don't. Ooh.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize
Sorry,
that you
I saw that
knew
after I
which
pressed
one you
it.
actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday.
Oh, but
niece,
it worked for you. It worked for you in the end, Sushi. You still got your way. Oh, God.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Dante. See, I didn't know that was a thing that was going to happen. We played this game before. Why is he rotating? Oh, no, he actually is rotating. I thought it was something different. You can find them, you can find them, you can find them. Collect them all. The sun.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on.
What in the Bloodborne?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
N5QBZ hashtag B squared 3 semicolon A9K and E. Wait, infinite hole? I'm up here. I'm fucking lost. That was, oh, infinite hole. Tente, that was very ominous of you. What? Infinity. Depth space hole, more hole. Question mark. It just keeps going.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in
Oh, hold up.
Hole that you can
Canelia
fall
Murder
down
Comet is an
forever.
astronaut.
That's right.
Cattle Lunar Jinx, Light is a dragon.
You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Elfin, Axel, Marshall, Nightlight, the robot. Okay, I was confused. That actually makes sense. Okay. I get it now. Into the hole!
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Behold Vertigo.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
We're gonna keep falling. We're gonna fall until an SCP shows
I
up.
don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole.
The
I don't want
pinprick
anyone to
of
say
light.
that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the
That
bottom
actually
of the
scared me a
hole.
little bit.
You found me out, Stanley. I'm
What's
a
up,
liar and
Tente?
a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me.
I swear
Maybe
if you
you're the
fart-
problem.
I swear to God, if you fart.
Look, things got a little heated.
Swear to whatever
here.
God you
We
believe
both
in.
said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the
Oh, I can't
hole
teleport.
mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to... Oh, for heaven's sake. I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal.
That's what
A
she
normal
said.
person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of
You
time.
like cactus?
Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You
fuck?
have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like
They're
you
easy to
spent a little
raise.
less time in there than you did before. I mean,
I can,
admittedly,
yes.
I
All
did
senses are
wait an
simulated.
Infinite hole, but I didn't think it was
Except for
that
hearing.
not
That's
infinite.
obviously still have
Well, I
real
suppose
ears.
once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positive.
Into the hole!
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing
Oh,
steadily
and
less and
there's,
less
you know,
infinite.
sense, like
I
touch.
suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even
That's
by the
the
lax
objective.
overall standards for accountability
We're
and
gonna-
marketing. What's going on here?
We're gonna use
Stanley,
this hole.
I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but
That's what
at
she
this
said.
depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working?
No, it's not.
You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
It's not
Still
working.
nothing? Well, I suppose...
This is a
There's
kid pull,
one
yeah.
thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
What?
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get
He's leaving.
more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be
pity.
with the hole. I get to do
Bye.
literally anything else.
Let me out.
Take care, Stanley.
No.
I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest.
It's actually going away. No. There's a jump. Look, I have one jump left. Let me use it. The fuck? I am drowning. I know, but I still... What the hell? The hull is descending. We're going deeper into the hull. Worth it. 100% worth it. Oh! Stanley Parable is the backrooms.
My head's stronger.
What the fuck?
You're no longer using
What is this auto tune? Change your reality. Ooh.
my head's stronger.
Oh.
You're no.
We about to start Naruto running? Oh. Hold up. Oh, legs! Puppies! Error.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley?
Oh,
It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland.
damn it.
We can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second.
Those are what?
You don't want to miss a single minute. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
All right. It's happening again. Oh, is that the end? Oh. Oh, we're back. Okay.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
The reassurance bucket. Let's check out the reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it.
There is no bucket.
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley
Here comes the
Parable
bucket.
Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart.
How does it even work?
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel
Bucket.
and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution.
Bucket.
Come on, give it a try.
Forget the bucket. Give me the bucket.
Can you feel
I
it?
have the
glow
bucket.
of
I have
comfort,
the power.
Even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that
Can
just
I wear it on my
holding
head?
it has
Can I
made
wear
you
the
the
bucket?
slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
I get to keep the bucket.
Does anyone give out
Oh, not
awards
even
for
says the bucket, it
most
says gem.
enjoyable bucket in a video game?
It is a
really
very
should be an
enjoyable
award if it
bucket.
isn't already.
Ray tracing? The baby is all grown up. What should the bucket have been? Do tell. Do tell. I am willing to take that into consideration. Kind of. Ooh. Yeah. Like it obscures like the top rim of vision.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yes, but I'm keeping the bucket. Ooh.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly
I really
clear
like the
how
bucket.
exactly these features will come together as one
No, I see
single
it.
coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Okay.
Okay.
No, it's
Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential.
Oh.
Sort of. Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Oh, that's worse.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent
E-pill.
video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up.
Wait, the
to
jump
anything.
circle is around the infinite
I
pit.
wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own.
The Jar
They would
Boys.
need the structure and the gameplay of the original.
Alexander, the best
Maybe
boy.
that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Ooh. Quit the desktop. And then we launch it again. Yeah, that's fair. I get it. The white balloons were objectively better. Because the happy 12th birthday Stephanie's balloons are just so specific. I mean, oh, it's permanent. Begin the game.
This is the story of a man.
Let's see if the intro changed.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building.
The
where he
balloon!
was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, first things first. Where are the hidden Stanleys?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's the bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Hell yeah, Stanley picked up the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Connie and Lotus. Door. Connie is, let's see, the Robo Kitty. Lotus the vampire. That is an interesting. Wait, there's a list in the meeting room? Okay.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
There is not a list in the office, in the meeting room.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the
Stanley
boss's
and the
office.
Ooh.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember,
Hell
no
yeah.
reward for collecting all of these.
Don't
Only
care.
the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
I will
You
collect
can't buy
them all.
that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Luna, wait, hold up. Luna, okay, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that dragons are powerful. You don't fuck with dragons. Look at Zentreya. Well, no, Zentreya is a gecko. Like, piloting a dragon.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light
Stanley-rines?
pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
The
Was
bucket knew it.
guiding him? Yes, this is certainly
The
the
bucket
most
knows all.
logical explanation.
Here's another Stanley.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini
Stanlerines. Yeah, that
Stanley
makes sense.
figs? What about
You've played this
Stanlerines?
game.
Yes.
Or you've
I think
watched
I like
it.
that. Another Stanlerine
You
under your
sneaky.
belt.
You sneaky, sneaky you. Whatever you are. What's your... What are you're you again? Axolotl! Right. Right.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Oh, hold up. Is the stream okay? Okay, stream's okay. I don't know what just happened. Stream broke or something.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
The bucket was supposed to keep us okay.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it
Nice!
didn't wish
What kind
to
of
do?
pizza?
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Only the bucket. The bucket is the only person who knows me.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Stuffed crust pizza is the
For
best.
he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
I don't think it's over.
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was
Sushi, say
now
less.
mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of
That
life they
sounds
wanted to live
absolutely
once
divine.
they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a
Before
movie,
the,
any
you know,
movie, but then
so
stop it halfway
virgins,
through and begin watching
originally
it in
organic,
reverse from the end.
Robot parts added.
True, it was a simple
Pure
life
carnivore.
they envisioned, but it
Give me
was
the meat.
one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
I don't have a lore video, but I have lore.
What? Wait. What was
Door
happening?
stopped. The bucket.
Why had the door stopped?
The bucket break
Was
the door.
Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
Oh.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths.
The all-powerful
The
bucket.
No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Deep dish is delicious. Alright, so this time...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
In
he had
the
simply
meeting
missed a
room.
memo.
Bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
A large room with lots of boxes. Stairs, somewhere both red and blue. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, large room with... I know where the box room is. We're gonna go down the stairs.
Coming to a staircase,
So we're gonna go up
Stanley
first.
and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay, up doesn't work, so we're going down. With the bucket! Oh, this is very red. Stanley!
I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
Figlies!
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Figlies. Oh, that name is so stupid. I love it.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
I have been walking in
He looked down at the
circles.
bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good will
Where's the
come from
bucket?
this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre
I lost the bucket.
hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. Now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Oh no.
Gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his.
no.
None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
So many
He
false
had to
buckets.
find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
I am the bucket.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Mariella?
Mariella woke up on a day like
Who
any
the
other.
fuck is
She
Mariella?
rose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Oh, she's got the
But on this
bucket.
particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own
Yeah,
bucket
and
even
now.
tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
That is impressive. That is a feat. That is a girl boss. Okay, now we have to go
All of his co-workers were gone.
to the
What could
warehouse.
it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced
Broom Closet Bucket Edition.
Stanley
I'll go. I'll do that after I get the last
This was not the correct way
Stanleys.
to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
Audio, where'd
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere
hearing
else.
broke?
The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
It's coming back. Hold up. God, I need to get these ears updated. There we go. I can hear again. It's over there. How do I get there? This is how I get there.
You're getting close now,
Oh,
Stanley.
yeah.
You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines.
The
Very
Figler
soon,
and
you'll
Marine.
collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by
I will
then.
never leave the bucket
Different in the
behind.
sense
How
that we
dare you?
used to
How
have
dare you
none of
insinuate that I'll leave the bucket
And now
behind?
we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
What the fuck? What the hell? This is new.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
I get it. I get
No
it.
matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense.
No, it does not.
There's no explanation for it. Still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
Ooh.
Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get...
Ooh.
What's that? Who's there?
He's getting got. What? What the fuck? Isn't it going to be a horror game? Why is this a horror game out of
All of
nowhere?
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please,
Oh, what?
step in here for a moment.
Okay. I guess I should have listened to you, Sushi. I apologize. What the... Is this a bucket?
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an
Oh,
actual
screw
bucket.
you.
Item 2. Is
That's
this
a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What am I supposed to do with you? What am I supposed to do with this? This has to be a bucket.
Is this a bucket? Correct.
It is a bucket.
It is a bucket.
Alright, what do you got for me, Nick? That is not a bucket.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
That is a tractor.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is this a bucket?
Okay, that's another tractor.
Incorrect.
What? How is that a bucket? That is not a bucket.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
That's a bucket.
Trick question. Both.
How is it
Gotcha.
both? How the fuck is that both?
Item.
Is that a
I
quantum
can't
bucket?
Find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait. When I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Yeah, I should have listened to you,
I'm too
Sushi.
confused
I
to even
apologize.
sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Is the narrator a
Stanley,
bucket?
I can't keep doing this.
The narrator
I'm
is not a
losing
bucket.
Myself, and myself was all I ever had
Oh.
to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our
Can't
relationship
answer.
apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay.
No.
Here we go.
The bucket. No. I like my bucket.
What happened? Is everything gone?
I don't know.
Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
Gotcha, Maddie.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
Well, I apologize,
I had no
Maddie.
idea.
You were right.
How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful.
Yes, and
Well,
axolotls are not sushi.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you
No,
run
it's
into anyone
axolotls
else,
can
maybe
eat
don't
sushi
mention
because it's
that.
not cannibalism.
Who knows what that information
Because
might tell the
axolotls are not
person.
sushi.
All right, here we go.
That's what it was. Yes. That was my final answer. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This is different. Door. It's the original door.
Stanley went around touching When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
No. I gotta get that
Perhaps
last
he wanted
trophy.
to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Dog mode?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, I horribly regret my decision,
Stanley,
but I
perhaps
had to
we've
get the
gotten off
trophy
on the wrong
first.
foot here. I'm not your
The
enemy, really.
the Stan,
I
whatever.
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but
need
the
more
fact
RAM.
is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration
Danger,
for others?
danger everywhere.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad
There's
to
a
happen
tiny
to you? Why? I
Huh.
don't know how to
I did
convince
not
you
see
of
that.
this, but I really do
No
want
buckets.
to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm
There
on
it
your
is.
side. And there it is.
The last Stiggly Wiggly.
Stiggly Wiggly.
We did
Savor
it.
this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all
I
done.
will take a look next time
And now
I'm
we
through.
can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Now listen carefully, this is
Alright,
important.
I'm gonna listen to him this time.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Alright, we'll go through the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running,
Oh,
and
we're
running
looping.
and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay. Ooh, the door. The void.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes.
Serenity.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in... No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No!
Crunch. Oh, I'm alive.
Thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other
Okay, we'll go to the
room?
other one. Oh, it got prettier.
There. See? This is what you want.
Pretty
This is where we can
colors.
both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Oh, no, the pretty colors are gone. I'm leaving.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Gonna see if the pain of shattered ankles.
No. No, no. What are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you? Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
Okay, I'll go back to the other room.
Can you do that? Yes.
If it stays pretty.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Oh, there's more pretty colors.
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
It's reds and greens and pinks and oranges and yellows. This is pretty. This is low res. This is out of focus. This is bright. The amalgam of color. It's hypnotizing. Alright, time to go shatter my ankles.
No, perhaps not. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Oh.
Am I reading the situation correctly?
No, you're not. You're reading it very incorrectly.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back.
Oh, the balloons are gone.
Stanley,
Oh.
I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love
The
nothing
memory
more than to
zone!
visit the figurines. Just one more time. Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7.
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Then after that, we did boss's
let's
office.
do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was the boss's office, because that's the ending I did next.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, behind the boss's office. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Really? I have not heard that study before.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
No, we didn't.
Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
We've never been in the pink room.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh. Oh, we're back to 2008. Let's go.
Takes you back, doesn't it?
Oh,
I
we're
spent
back?
a lot
Okay.
of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
I shook my ears off for a moment. Alright, where are we going? We going here now? Yes. Then we found one here.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others.
It did happen more
Who
recently.
can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Well, no, because that was the last one. Ooh. Oh, they're linked. Okay, we're gonna go to the blue door, though.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
Oh, okay. You got Burger King? Burger Bing?
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that...
Reverse, reverse.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
As do I.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video.
I headbanged so hard I lost the camera there for a moment.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them.
Can I go
I'm
back?
very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Yes. You can go back. And actually, can I go back to under the stairs? No, I cannot. Okay. What'd you get? So, Maddie, what'd you get from Burger King? Burger Bing. Burger.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figlarines.
I'm at
I want
18.
more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
We're back at the circle. Do I have more jumps?
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does
Still got
put a
one jump
rosy
left.
filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
2 buffalo chicken fries. Dang it, you got a whole meal. Okay. I normally, when I go there, I just normally get like the chicken sandwich. Chicken fries are good though. The fries are really good with ranch.
Oh, yes. The 2 doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Oh. What does he remember?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me.
Huh.
He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. But the balloons are still here.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone.
We're taking the bucket to the no bucket room.
Stanley
That way I can get dog mode.
This was not the correct
No, wait, no. Broom closet first.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left,
to go back to them, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel
the
that,
lore
can't
for
you?
this game is an
The aura of
absolute
jealousy.
nightmare.
It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now. But
Can we
you have to be
even
strong.
put the bucket down?
This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting
How dare
friends.
the broom closet?
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape
It might
of
be
your
in production.
feelings for the bucket, as they have changed
You never
and
know.
evolved over the years. Let him have it. Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There.
Property of Stanley is
No
my
more debate,
bucket.
no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see?
Bucket
I
sticker.
feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
Yes.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
This is true. This is very true.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
He actually just got up and left.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dump, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew
Okay.
all along?
So I was spoiled to this end. What I'm doing right now.
This is certainly the most logical explanation.
I do know what I'm doing right now. Though I don't know if it happened with the bucket. No.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Yeah. You can go back up.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over.
The button.
and
Oh,
over.
okay, the light is not working. This is actually what this is different. So the route I saw was without the bucket.
Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Okay, the light's back on.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
How rude of the bucket to say nothing. Okay, light's not back on.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned
Okay, we're going back
to
to the elevator. We're going down.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's?
I know not.
The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
The solution is to go back up.
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over.
And over.
He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised
All eyes
the
on
bucket at his
Stanley.
press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been.
World
for
peace,
anything in his
baby.
life.
The man, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley from the Stanley Parable. Three. All eyes
This
on
was
Stanley.
it. One last
4, 2,
chance
7?
to win
Nah,
the bucket
3.
over. One
3 again.
opportunity to share a
3
true
again.
connection with a loved one.
So there is a different version of this without the bucket.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant.
Oh.
They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations
Welcome
about
back.
passion and pursuit. Only
We are in sad
silence
time.
that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can...
The good old bucket.
The good old
Just
bucket.
Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Nah, we're going to the
And
no
here it
buckets
was.
room.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
Get in dog
No,
mode.
never mind. The bucket was wrong.
What's up? What's
Stanley
up, Maddie?
took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
They can't.
But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this
First
point.
door
Stanley,
from the
how could you
left.
think it was okay
Go
to bring the
right
bucket
doorway
here?
and then press the
Unless-
number 2.
The
I will.
problem is that you
I will
actually
do that
don't
next
know
round.
what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket. I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly.
Well, then we must
So
address
much of
it.
the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Step in the no buckets room, or everything's a bucket. Bucket!
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether
gonna
or
get
not
these
the
right
thing
this
I'm
time,
showing
though.
you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
So this
Item
is a hologram of a
Is this
bucket.
a bucket?
Yes,
Correct.
easily.
It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
This is a drinking game where you will die.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Nah, this is a 3D printed bucket.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Now, this is an actual bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yeah, this is a bucket. I'm taking a drink right now, actually.
It's a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
This isn't a bucket.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
Now, this next one is a bucket.
Is this a bucket?
Yes, this is a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a
I
bucket?
think that's a bucket.
Trick
Oh yeah, it's
question.
both, and there's no both answer.
Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
That's not a bucket. Because that's a nothing.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Bucket. Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Yes.
Stanley, I can't keep
No.
doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
It
I can't
won't.
have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
So I need the bucket for the ending you were telling me about? Or the route or whatever? Oh yeah, you need the bucket. Right hallway, first door, left, down lift. I think. I don't know.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Dog
decided to go to
mode.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Hell yeah.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Dog.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley
This is
just
good.
smiled. Anywhere they went to, Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest
All right.
and entered the door on his left.
Right hallway, first door, down left.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
This is our life now.
Stanley took the door
Hope
on
you
his
know
left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh, he's the adventure line!
Your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
I want more Adventure Line.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's... Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about.
Give me my music
Don't
back.
you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Do I have to give it the bucket? I don't know if it's worth it.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Oh, shit.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
This is a very intricate
Can you
device.
guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity.
I can't
and
give it the
nuance
bucket.
that It's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans.
I'm interacting.
The fans
Like I'm trying to throw the bucket away, and it doesn't work. You can't throw the bucket away. The bucket is forever.
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Oh, okay. Goodbye, Bucket Destroyer. And you would not consider Adventureline TM a good character? Adventureline TM is a best character. Wait, why is the phone ringing?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Interesting.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This
That'd
was
be
not
nice.
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Indeed, I did.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to
Nope,
the
I
opposite
walked down.
door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right. My
Okay.
mistake. No,
not the right.
Right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
This way. Alright, let's go this way. Spoiler! Whoa!
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to,
The
who
fuck
am I
is that?
kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable.
234.
Rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense,
Oh,
I'll
it'd be
just
hilarious.
restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Boop.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The bucket's gone. Yeah. A few characters were fired.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change?
Something changed.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were
I
back in
did
that room
nothing.
with all the monitors? Did you move the story
It wasn't
somewhere,
me.
or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
And we're in the back rooms. Alright, see you when you get back. What? We're back?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay. Nice. Now you don't got the Neopop going up on your lips.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Oh,
he
the
had
balloons are
simply missed
gone.
a memo.
There's no doors.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong.
Let's see when you get
It's
back.
possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Alright, backwards. Oh, there's a new door. Nah, that's the door we came from.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes.
We missed
No,
Infinitum.
wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
But we can't.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story?
I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Well, I apologize for making such a horrible
And
decision.
it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time.
Okay.
I have to restart.
For real this time, though?
All right.
The adventure
I've got a
line.
solution.
The real
This
one.
time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
To glory.
Who'd have thought? Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story
ground the wall.
of no
Ground the wall.
destination
Ground the wall. Ground the wall.
still
Okay,
a
we're up.
story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is
Cannot
inevitably
follow the
conjured
wall.
into being
Yeah,
via the very
okay, we jumped over.
manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Okay,
You know
we
what?
landed.
I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Yeah. Hey yo.
Got the music. Go back and look at that fern.
I like the music.
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Will it now?
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Alright. It's a majestic fern. Can I leave? I'm gonna leave.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this... Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it.
It's
Restart.
Clippy! Why is Clippy unemployed? Why is Clippy an employee of all people? Why is he an employee? I like it, but why?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
I want to follow the adventure line with the music.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild.
This is infinitum.
Use your imagination. Whatever it might be,
Oh,
Stanley.
it's no longer infinitum.
I'm ready for it. Oh, no.
Yes.
Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it.
Okay, we gotta jump. Huh. Ah, man. A short jump. Okay. Gotta do a long jump now. Okay. Follow this and then. Okay. We made it. And jump. I can't make that jump. That jump's too big.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Okay. Circle.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Does it now?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Sadly, yes.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing. Wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it.
But
I
you
won't
must.
do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule?
Maybe.
How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You
Pretty
know,
much.
I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Can I help you? Game? The bucket's back.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Welcome back. The bucket's back.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd coming to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, is it to be rich? What a life it would be to just have to pick just one. What the? Why are you shooting the panda? Rude. No. We vibing. Okay, we've been going down a hot minute. Okay. Okay, this is just going nowhere.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
The bucket knows all.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So, this time, I'm going to turn on the mind control device.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the
Now
large
I'm going
door
to
that
escape.
read, Mind control for... Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
You can't kill this bucket.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Also, yeah, welcome back,
At this
Maddie.
point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Mm-hmm. Haha. I lived. There we go. Bucket. Surprise, we lived.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Can't get me if you can't see me.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
A new narrator.
In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
But it wasn't.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Damn. So I beat South Park, Fractured But Whole, and Stick of Truth and all that stuff a while ago. You're now standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like the bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within a cavernous void. But, through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its knowledge of only the only true knowledge we really have. Here, will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
A replica of the Inferno bucket, which is a medieval era, was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for the control of it. Billions died, yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket. But there is something we can do.
Fair.
Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this
Honestly,
terrible
Fractured
wrong.
played better, in my opinion. It is newer, though, after all.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. He shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as
Computer
commander
virus,
of a
fuck.
new world, a new vision.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
Thank you.
What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Here, what is it? Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No bucket this time, though.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's
By the
office,
way, I forgot to
Stanley
say.
was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy.
so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up.
Yes, he did.
Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Well, the secret is, I did it so I could go right back down. Or not?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated.
You know it.
It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Okay, I can go back down now.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
You see, the secret is going back up.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
See, that's where the real secret lies. Because we actually don't care what's in the boss's office. Because we get out. And then we turn around.
Oh my God. It's the boss's office.
And then we wait.
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to
You need more
process.
time.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Can I go back down? I can. Okay, good.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it.
I'm that
That's
amazing.
just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
No, we're going right back up.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Yes, let us do that.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley,
It is so much more
seems like
something.
nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a
Damn
role
straight.
model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference.
Oh, have you now?
So that you can talk about
For
your
me?
work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Let's go.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere. Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door. All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a
All
truly
eyes on Stanley.
unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself.
Up
Speak
again,
from the
down
heart.
again. The Stanley
I'm
story.
really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
The dude who came up with pizza. Alright, now then. I need to figure out how to get some of these trophies. I can't get that one. Not right now, at least. But I can get... Oh, wait. Speedrun is still in. Okay. Let's quit the menu. Oh, wait. There's an epilogue. More sliders? No, but we're gonna go to the epilogue. And then I'll call it a day. Oh, God. The hell? We're gonna walk towards the sun. No, we walk away from the sun, so that way night gets faster. Ooh. Nice calm fire. Away from the sandstorm. To the moon. That is a very pretty moon. Beautiful sunset. Oh, we're back at the memory room. This is interesting. Cookie 9 blog. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. I feel that. I relate to that. More gym buttons. Just a moment. Stanley. That's right, I'm Stan. $26 Stan Lorines. Stanley Parable 3. Forgotten Baby. Don't do it. Okay, so we do have to actually make epilogue. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure this is one of the trophies. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Agent P! Absurdism. Alright, so now we just wait. Alright, now we're back. Let's see what we can do.
Jim.
Oh, no more trophies to collect. Oh, wow. I've got 26 of them. Welcome back. We've traveled through time. And now, we are going to accept this man's offer. And we are going to create the Stanley Parable. The current time, it is 3:31. Let's say 3:32. Stanley Parable 3, The Forgotten Vicar!
This is the story.
Alright. Let's see, the balloons are still here, but I need to go to new content.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It already passed new content's right here. Yes. So, Sushi, you were talking about, like, I'm guessing some sort of VTuber family that you're a part of. Do you, I'm guessing you stream? Or when I say Sushi, Maddie, you asked me to call you just... Yeah, yeah, I know!
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on
I'm
the
sorry.
Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The
I
original
apologize.
Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Gotcha. Oh, it does require a lot of hardware, I will
Yes,
definitely
you
say
see,
that.
Isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many
All you need,
different
though, is a mic
directions.
and a computer.
This is what fans have truly been
Then you can get a model
asking
later.
for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Alright, where's the free achievement? There it is. It's not easy and free.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given. As you can see, the machine is not working yet since... What? Wait. What in the holy hell is going on? You got the achievement? Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched? Oh, God. Composure. Composure. Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2. Breathe. Just breathe. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I'll use my last jump.
You know what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Wait, can I get more trophies? Out of order. It knows. Oh, can we change the balloons? The end is never the end again. Where were the balloons? Was this the balloons? No, this wasn't the balloons.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
The settings world champion. Oh, presentation. Nice.
This is the story.
I think this is a thing. Ah. Dang it. I thought that might get me into the settings world champion. Oh well.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley... Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Yeah.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Are they 18 plus? Do they stream the naughties? Let's see. Where's the exit? This is new. No, this is not new. I just came through here. Oh. Kotev. Okay. I did not know that. Oh. I'd actually never heard of that site. Videos on Twitter and Lotus on Wattpad. Okay. So Lotus is a writer. That's cool.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on?
Really now? That's interesting. Why do you say that? You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
2. It's kind of mad. I wish I could jump in there and get.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes.
Lotus
yes,
Kanye.
this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
I used to write a lot when I was in.
Who am I kidding,
When I was
Stanley?
younger, but
This isn't a
I haven't
coherent
done that
video
in a
game at
while.
all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
They have 2 infinite holes.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2."
Well, I don't have any horns you can collect.
Let me see if I can whip something up.
Fair enough.
Perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Well, you might then just like the nightclub section of my server. It's an NSFW, basically, channel in there. I don't think anyone's posted anything, but yeah. See, no, we're gonna sync. Okay, there we go. No, one dude did put a link to like some weird fan fiction. The Luke fucks a grape juice or something weird like that. I ain't read it. Oh, right, I get to make new names. Wacky Bomb. Alright, so what I want to do now, because I got that, the broken achievement, is I need to figure out how to get 8s. I don't know how to get 8. I know who does, though. Google. Unless you know, Maddie. Eight. Okay, into the boss's keypad. White balloons.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
Look,
left.
what writing isn't cringe at some point? Lord,
Yet
the
there was
stuff
not
I
a
wrote in the
single
beginning
person
was
here either.
high cringe.
Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Usually a bit edgy.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase,
Then I wrote a
Stanley
My Little Pony
walked
fanfiction
upstairs
that
to
was
his
like My Little
boss's
Pony
office.
Fallout. That was weird. It was good. It was long though. It was like 600,000 words.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
8.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't...
Then I'm actually writing my own story right now, kind of.
With some calming new age music.
It's a D&D campaign. So it's a story in its own right.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself,
to
question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exist.
Is this the speed run? I hope it is.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Let me out. Let me out. There we go.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yay for Stanley.
That wasn't the speed run? Okay. Interesting.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Did he now?
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Thank you.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I couldn't make it on there in time. I don't know if it would count for the speed run.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Happiness.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Let me out, let me out, let me out. There we go.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I hope that was fast enough. It probably wasn't, because I wasn't able to get the table skip. But that is where I'm going to call it today. It has been a pleasure. See y'all next time. Goodbye, recording.